Hey everybody. So your first assignment here is the multimodal discipline project. And I thought I would just go over a couple of samples for you. As you can see, here are your requirements. If you go to the home page, you'll see on the left-hand side here, you have sample assignments. So I've provided sample assignments of every major assignment we're going to do in this class. But right now we're just focusing on the sample multimodal discipline project. So I thought I'd put these up here just so you see what other students have done. And this is an example of a news article that one of my students, I'm moving my head here. If it would load, it would like to load. Sorry. There we go. All right. So as you can see, this person mimicked an actual newspaper and what this would look like. You have the title here, you have the date, you have bylines, headlines, photo, something that you should pay attention to and make sure that you do add to any image that you add to your project. You want to write down where that photo came from. So you want to write, courtesy of, that's probably the simplest one, or source with a colon, and then the name of the website or whatever source you use. So you have to make sure that you do cite those sources. This person also got pretty clever and added some other articles in here, but this is the main part of her article. American taxpayers beware. Right. So as the assignment says, you're taking a scholarly article and you are essentially translating it for a public audience so that any Joe Schmo on the street could say, oh, I actually understand what this study conducted or what this article is talking about, because a lot of scholarly articles are filled with jargon and lots of academic mumbo jumbo that the regular public might not understand. So this is your job to transfer that information from academia to the general public. But as you can see, since this is multimodal, we're including multiple forms, not just text, but also images, video. You have the choice as to what you can pick. This person decided to do a newspaper, and take your time, read through it. I just kind of wanted to show you this is what it looks like. They even have fake advertisements, and get creative. It's totally up to you. It's totally your project. So get as creative as you can. And we go back to the requirements. Okay, so you don't have to do a news article. You're welcome to do a podcast, which is what the second example here is. If we go back to sample assignment. The second one is a podcast, so I advise you to listen to it. But also, if you do something like a podcast or a video, I want you to submit your transcript. And once again, I'll just show you what the transcript looks like. But you should really listen to the audio file that I've posted, because it follows the transcript, and also there's some extra fake commercials and things like that. So you can really get creative. Don't hold back on that. But do make sure that you're getting the essence of that article out. And that's what we'll be talking about in the next couple of weeks, of how exactly can you pinpoint rhetorically what that scholarly article is trying to say. But you can see tone-wise, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Cooper's Podcast. All right, so it's very friendly and it fits that genre. And that's another thing we'll be talking about in the next few weeks. Expectations of genre. So expectations on a podcast, you're going to want somebody to speak loudly, clearly. You're going to want them to present information and cite it by saying, so-and-so of the such and such institute conducted a study. These scientists mention their names. So anything you can add to help cite the sources is great, but you don't have to get, for this assignment, you don't have to get very, strictly adhere to deadlines or strictly adhere to guidelines for MLA, APA, anything like that. You're going to include source information in the medium. So right here, person's mentioning his name, dissecting and translating a scholarly article written by, all right, so we get the author's name. But it's not going to be, you know, you're not going to have parenthetical citations. Not yet in this class, you know, not yet right now, but it's going to try to mimic the, there's Figgy whistling in the background. Try to mimic the genre as much as you can. If you look on the, actually, let me get out of the student preview here. I have to do that to show you what I'm putting up here. I haven't launched it yet, but I will in a moment. If you go to course content, and then week 2 materials, which will be up there. I've put some materials for you to use for your, sorry, my computer's a little slow today. There we go. Yeah, tools to help compose the multimodal discipline project. So I put all these tools up depending on what you want to do. So podcast or an online news article, you can also do a news video report. You could add an interview of some sort. You could have your friend play the scientist who conducted the study, whatever, you know, whatever you want to do, as long as you get that main information across and that main, you know, the argument or what the article is trying to prove, what the article is trying to say, and the evidence that has been provided. So you could do a news video report, you can do a blog post, as long as there are images, because it's multimodal, or, you know, not just text, but visuals as well, and possibly sound. Or you could do a BuzzFeed style article, which is kind of fun. Totally up to you, but those are the public genres that you have to work with, right? If you think of anything else, maybe you will, you can contact me and say, well, maybe I want to try this format. But the main aspects of the assignment are to identify your new audience, right? Imagine that if you make a podcast, for example, to whom will this be distributed? Will it be like an NPR kind of audience? Will it be a wacky morning show sort of program talking about this? You know, who exactly is your audience? Then managing the expectations of that audience and genre expectations, which is once again something we'll be talking about. Then actually creating it, and then at the end writing a reflective analysis. All in all, it should be around 1,000 to 1,500 words. If you are recording a podcast or a video, that's going to be for the transcript. And then that includes the reflective analysis, which should be about 250 words. And all the reflective analysis is just, you know, think about metacognition. Think about how you were thinking, how you put together this project. Why did you make certain choices that you did? For example, why did you say, you know, this less scientifically technical term? You know, what about that term would not be so great for an audience, and why is the term you chose actually better for a public audience? So things like that. And if you have any questions about the project at all, I, you know, advise you can come to my office hours, or you can email me or write on the Ask the Instructor board. I am here for you to help you with your individual project, and I'm looking forward to see what you come up with. But the first step is to actually find an article. And that's what we'll be doing starting this week into next week. We're going to use some library resources to help find those. I'll just tell you in advance that something you can use, we're going to get into more detail on this later, but something you can use are the library subject guides here. And the library subject guides just provide resources for you based on your discipline or major. Just want to load, yeah. So as you can see, if you're a biology major, you might click on this, and then it actually gets into a little bit more detail. There we go. Let's say you're neuroscience. You're a neuroscience major. All right, there you go. So you would click on that, and you're going to find a bunch of articles. So find articles, and then that's where you're going to start. You're going to think about, what am I interested in my field, and what about neuroscience am I interested in, and just kind of start from there. But once again, we're going to have some library tutorials to help you out with that. That's about it for now. Check out those examples, because they're really going to give you a good idea as to kind of what I'm looking for this assignment. But that's about it for now. And sorry about all the birds in the background. I hope you enjoyed them. And now I just have to sign out of here. Okay. Well, have a great day. Hey.